Okay, we are live. Got it? Okay, so
Perfect.
here we go. So this is live. This is the real world. This is two business women chatting together about why you need to launch your product or services and what's the difference between launching and then launching. Right? Like there are differences. Some people I find really struggle because they're scared to put themselves out there. They're scared to really launch their product because they feel like they're launching themselves. And it's no longer them staying hidden in the safety of failure, right? And to go, oh, okay, I'm going to be successful means I'm really putting myself out there. So there is a lot of this fear that keeps us trapped. So in your experience, Amber is our guest speaker today, who is an expert in, or like, what do we call them in the corporate world? We call them SMEs. So the subject matter expert on launching. So she helps people with her business on how to launch. And what's even better is she has this variety of different ways that she can help people so that it's actually affordable for what you can afford in the moment, because we all know that we're all going to be at different levels, and how much we want to take on ourselves versus how much we want someone to help us. So she can help you. And then she can also be your consult in saying, okay, this is what you should be doing. So what's the difference, do you find, Amber, of people who do it themselves launch? What do those look like versus what are these end results that are happening when we do launches with proper launch strategies that really do make a difference?
I find that when people do it themselves, and like, don't get me wrong, I've been there, done that myself. I find that it's just a recipe for burnout, to be completely honest. It's either that or you're not going to have as a successful launch as you want to. So like if you have a goal of like wanting like 10 people in your program, and there's a chance that if you do it yourself, you're probably either not going to get as many people in the program as you want, or you are going to get to the point where you are just so burnt out by the end of your launch that you don't want to launch anymore, or you're too burnt out to run your program. So
Or both.
so it just ends up being like not as successful as you want it to be. And then you get in the recipe of just like not wanting to launch anymore, or you get down on yourself because you tie the success of your launch to like your success in your business or how successful you are as a person, and that's just a recipe for disaster as well. So I find that the people
huge,
that invest in somebody to help them run their launch, or in some people's cases they have multiple people that help them run their launches and everything, depending on the scale of their business and the program or offer. You're going to have way more energy. You're going to have time for your expertise that you are giving out to the world, and you're going to have just so much more time to like enjoy your life. Because I find that people that when they go all into a business, they basically just recreate their 9 to 5, or even worse, you're probably working like 60 hours a week because you're like, oh, I work from home and I don't have anything else to do because my job is my hobby now. So you get overworked, you're burnt out, and you just like you get to the point where you don't enjoy your business anymore. Whereas like the people that hire help enjoy it for longer, and they get to do what they actually love doing instead of doing all of the masculine tasks that drain them.
Yes. Oh, so well put. Yeah, and I help people create courses to create products, to package up all of that. And that alone can be draining, trying to figure out that process, because so many people do it by themselves, and they take all these extra steps and they're all over the place. I call it frantic and fragmented. And you're already burnt out from that, most likely not even taking the time to recover from that. And then they're instantly launching their product, and they're launching their product while they're burnt out, not getting help, right? And then the launch does go bad, let's say, because they did it on this burnout method, which is not a good way to do it. And they think, oh, there's something wrong with my product, there's something wrong with me, based on this launch. And I will tell you, I've seen really great launches sell not so great products really well. So if you failed at your launch, it's not your product, most likely. It's that you didn't have someone helping you with the tactics, because launching is a huge marketing feat. And it's all about the promotion. It's all about the sale. And there's the pre-launch, there's the launch, and then there's the follow-up. A lot of people don't even consider all of that.
I find that people that are really good at what they do, and like whether it's like their product or the experience that they give their clients, those types of people aren't really good at the masculine type of that is what a launch is. So like, whereas I am very good at the masculine energy and the masculine tasks that it does to like create a launch and everything, and organizing and planning a launch. And it took me a long time to put all of that into like a proper course and a proper offer, because I was like, I just like doing the things.
Yeah. And it's exhausting trying to flip back and forth, right? Like, you need to be in creative mode because you need to be the inspiration. And then, okay, let me flip out of that and go over here to that masculine. And then let me flip back over into the feminine. And to keep flipping back and forth takes even more energy.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see like how that can be so exhausting for these people, and wondering why it's so exhausting, or feeling like they're not good at one thing or the other. And they do need to do what they love and do their passion. And it's important to know that each person does not have to be it all and do it all. And I think a lot of people get scared, or they feel like they don't have the money to invest in all of this other stuff, but it's one or the other. You choose. Do you want to burn yourself out and spend all of your time and your energy, and then it takes twice as long, 4 times as long? Maybe you end up getting yourself sick in the process, or you end up just not making money or delaying making money. Or you can invest and keep your happiness, keep your sanity.
And a lot of people think that like you have to like hire an individual person for like each area. Like, people don't realize how much it actually takes, how many actions and steps and processes it takes to run a successful launch. But then they also think that you have to hire individual people to run each individual thing that you need to do to run a launch. When in reality, if you're a little bit tighter on like the money flow or anything like that, hiring a really good VA is going to fix all your problems.
Yeah. And that's a great point. And like, how do they know though that they've hired a really great VA, or that they've got the right person? So how is it that you could tell people, someone that can do a launch, and then someone that says they can do a launch?
I would ask them for their portfolio and for their testimonials and everything, and do a proper interview process, because it's not just whether or not somebody is good at running a launch or not good at running a launch, because there's multiple ways you can run a successful launch. But it's finding the right person that locks in with your type of business too. Like, just
Very true.
because I'm successful in running a business launch for somebody doesn't mean I'm going to be successful at running a launch for everybody, because everybody's business and audience is different. But I think doing a proper interview process and like asking them to provide, basically provide proof that like of what they do, and like going through their process with them. And that's why I always do like consultation calls with all of my like potential clients, just because I want to make sure that not only is their business something that I work well with, but also I want to make sure that I jive with the people that I work with, because if it's not enjoyable for me to work with them, then I'm not going to be very motivated to do the things that need to be done for their launch.
Yes, so true, so true. And I think it's important to empower people to say like, yes, get on a consultation. You're going to be working pretty heavily with each other, because that person is going to need to get to know your business and your product pretty well to help you launch it. Don't feel intimidated by anyone who's just trying to push you into hiring them without a consult. Like, if you feel like you need it, and I do, I think you should, because you both, yes, want to make sure that you can work well together, that you speak the same language, metaphorically, and that you're on the same page, because you don't want to tell someone or ask someone to do one thing and then they're doing a totally different thing.
Exactly.
From both ends. Yeah, because as business owners, like, it's our goal to get the client results.
Yeah.
Like, we want your success. If you don't have a success, we don't have a success.
No. And like that's the thing, is like as like what we do, our clients are our portfolio in a sense, right? So like it's all about like who we work with and we get results for, but also like who we were taught by. So like that's the thing, is like when we talk about our resume, it's like, okay, who trained me to do what I do? But then also like, who did I get results for, and like where are they now?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because not only from that launch, I feel like anytime we work with someone, it's also a learning opportunity. So by working with a professional, you're not only getting the results for this one time, but you're also learning for the next time. And you're only going to keep getting better and better. And a launch is not something that you just do one time and that's it. Like, ideally, you're going to relaunch the same product quite a few times, and it's going to keep getting better and better each and every time too.
Well, and also like if I do a good job, there's a good chance that like that client's going to rehire me to rerun their launch for them. So it's one of those things where it's like you do a good job and you get a good client base, and then you also get referrals from that client base too. So
yes, I work huge on referrals. Working with one client and they refer me to someone else, or they want to bring me on a different project or things of that nature. It's always best to show up with integrity, no matter what we're doing. And making sure that you are working with someone who also believes that too is really, really important. So I know personally in the past, I have launched several times. So when I say, and I'm doing it the wrong way, when I say like what can happen, I'm speaking from experience. Launching the wrong way is really exhausting. And it has made me really question the products that I was selling, or questioning the services that I was providing. And also I've had where I've burnt out halfway through the launch and didn't even finish everything that I said I was going to do during the launch, because I didn't have people showing up already. So then I didn't even feel the need to keep continuing. So there's all these things that can domino effect throughout that launch process. And one thing that was really important, someone had told me was, if you're going to launch that week, whether you're having help or not, to really adjust your calendar so that you aren't trying to juggle all of life along with it. And she had said, she was like, just plan on ordering takeout that week, have your clothes picked out ahead of time, make sure that everyone knows that you're not to be like bothered during that time, so that the kids and the family and everyone else isn't calling you. So there's things too that you can prepare for, which is I've learned the hard way, just to make sure that you're ready.
Yeah, I work in the opposite way. So I strongly believe that our business works for us and not the other way around. So when I work with my clients, I have them like pick a start date for their launch, but before we even talk about their launch, I get them to like bring out a calendar, and basically I get them to plug in every single important date, whether that is little Johnny's soccer game or somebody's birthday or your wedding anniversary or whatever it is. I get them to plan out their entire calendar before we pick a calendar date, because I get them to work backwards from that date. And then we plan out the entire launch from there. So we're working your launch around your life. So you're not making sacrifices that you probably started your business so you could be more available as a mom, or you could go out on a date with your husband, or like whatever it is. And so you're also not working like 12-hour days to make your launch possible. Like I have worked with clients where they work maybe 4 hours a day and they still make a launch possible, rather than burning out and trying to shove everything into like 2 weeks. And that's why we have multiple planning sessions, and I have my container as like a 6-week container. So then we have 2 weeks of like planning sessions and getting everything ready before the launch even starts. So
Nice.
then you basically you're copying and pasting your post, or you have like all of your landing pages set up. So you have everything that you need to set up on the back end set up. So then I can help them do content creation, or doing their emails or anything like that. And then they can focus on like creating their masterclass that they want to launch as like kind of like as a funnel towards their course, or if they haven't finished planning their actual course or offer, they have time to do that and all that kind of stuff. So there's no like scrambling anymore. Like that is the one recipe for a burnout. And two, it just becomes non-enjoyable, because like I believe, like I've had unsuccessful launches myself, and the way that I run my products now is literally content from like a learning experiences. Like I believe that I did all the wrong things so that my clients can do the right thing.
And that's normally what makes us the best of the best is that we have failed firsthand, every way to fail, so that we really can identify when someone's doing something like, oh, no, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's not a good idea.
Well, and it's also like, it's more relatable, because then you can talk to your clients and be like, I'm not telling you to do this because I want your money out of your pocket, but because I know it's the wrong thing to do.
It's like,
And also I'm
I'm
not pitching to like people being like, oh, I ran this client's launch and they made $1 million, so you should work with me because I made them $1 million. It's like, no, I was on the front line of like a launch and it really sucked because I burned myself out, or I gave up halfway, or it just really didn't work out the way I had planned, or like nobody showed up to my master classes, or so I just decided not to do them. And so it's
Mhm.
like the firsthand experience is going to be what connects you to the people that are like lifelong clients, rather than making them empty promises.
Yeah, and I think that is the biggest part, right? It's either not completing the launch or not doing all the pieces of the launch. And the biggest factor is that burnout. So by having someone there, they're going to double check you and make sure that you've done everything you're supposed to do. They're going to hold you accountable to make sure that you are showing up. And those are just those side factors, right? Aside from all the knowledge and the experience and the expertise they have, that alone is just so important that that accountability is there, that support is there, that someone to ask questions and to even just be like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. And you're like, yes, you can. You will, you will, you will.
Well, and that's the thing, is that if you really think about what has to happen on the back end of the launch and everything, like recently, as I was because after I plan everything, like plan a launch for my client from like start to finish, and we plug in all of their things that they want to do each week, whether it's master classes or workshops or like anything like that. Like for the simplest launch of like one master class and then their course at the end, there is like 5 pages of micro tasks, like just like it's a ridiculous amount of just like little things that people don't think about, like whether it's making sure that your links work to like your payment options, or setting up your payment options, or just making sure that you write and schedule emails, or like things like that. Like the amount of times that I work with people and they're all like, oh, I should probably write a piece of content to post today. I'm like, no, you should have wrote that like last week.
Yeah, and all of this stuff too, like especially if it's your first launch, or let's say it's your first time doing it the right way. um so recommend to get a professional to do it, because really, again, it's a learning process. All these emails you're drafting out, all these things, like you're going to reuse those. So
Exactly.
the investment that you're making, it's not for a one-time launch. Like you're setting yourself up to keep doing this, and hopefully you've got a program and a product that you are going to keep relaunching. Don't be that person. I used to be that person that would try to create a new product every single month and create a whole new launch every single month.
No.
Don't torture yourself.
Well, that's the thing, is like the way that I look at it is that if I do a good enough job, all they have to do, if they don't want to hire me again, all they have to do is change dates on graphics, and change dates and emails and content, and you can literally copy and paste for like an entire launch again. Because really, like, even for the people that like are like super followers of you, they're not going to see every post, and they're not going to go back from a month ago and be like, oh, she copied and pasted the same post.
Yeah. I share stuff from last year all the time. Like you keep reusing things. Like as a business owner, I used to be very fearful of resharing and redoing things. People need to keep seeing the same thing over and over, especially like with guerrilla marketing. They need to see it at least 9 times before they're going to even consider it, if they had any resistance at all.
Well, because it creates that no like trust factor.
Yes.
Like nobody like the DM marketing like doesn't work anymore. Like people that like pop in your email and they're all like, I've got the thing for you. And I'm all like, no, it's the people that like you constantly like, that the people that I buy from are people that I've known for years. And like, I am like a creature of habit, where like I've worked with the same coaches for years. And the people that, like, the person that trained me to be a virtual assistant is literally now the virtual assistant of my coach.
Nice.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you know them, you like them, you trust them, so then you don't mind like taking the money out of your pocketbook and giving it to them, or budgeting it into your business plans and everything. Whereas
Yeah.
you're not going to buy from Sally that like is all like, buy my product.
Yes, and I recommend that. Like, make sure it's someone that you know is going to be sticking around. Like, they're not just in it for this month or for the 3 months, or
Yeah.
they're just doing this as a one-time thing. Like, choose someone who this is their career. They've put the time and the effort and the money into their business, and they're not going anywhere. That came up with a client yesterday. She had hired someone to do some website work for her, and it was kind of an impromptu thing. They just kind of put it out on Facebook that they were going to do some side work, and they never did the work, and they took the money, and now they don't want to do it. And that's because that person is not a business owner. That person was someone who was just trying to make some quick cash. Choose someone who really is a professional. They are results oriented. All right. And that's huge. That's like me. I'm like, even if I say I'm going to work with someone for 9 months to make their business success and have all these things done, if 9 months rolls around and we don't have it done yet, that's on me. And I'm going to keep hanging on to you, unless there was some dramatic thing that happened, like maybe they just like their mindset crashed and they decided they don't want to do their business anymore. But otherwise, I'm going to still be there with you, and I'm going to make sure that you get the results that you want. Like, as business owners, it's our job to keep refining our systems to make sure that we really meet our clients' needs, and try to empower people to make sure you're choosing people that are like that.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, you want to grow as a person, so you want the people that you work with to grow with you.
Yes, love it. Definitely, for sure. So Amber, how long have you been doing launches for? What got you excited about doing launches? Tell us a little bit about you.
I actually started in network marketing, believe it or not. And then I did that for about 5 years. And then I switched and I became a business coach. And then I changed my path a little bit and I got into more productivity. And that's where I really started to fall in love with like the launch process, and being able to like run successful launches and everything. So instead of coaching people to do the things, I now work as a virtual assistant and I do the things for them, because I really believe that productivity, especially when it comes to business, is not something that you can really teach somebody. Like, you can help instill habits that like help them be productive and help them run successful launches. But really, like, unless you are an actual productive person and it's something that's in your like personality, it's never going to like truly stick. So I now implement the things that I used to teach. And that's when I started getting into VA work. And I now specialize in launches. So I still have a container to work like month to month, or like have an hourly rate as a VA for those people that just want like little things. But I mostly focus on like contract work for launches.
Yeah, which is great. Like, when people know like this is the result I need, help me get there, I think it resonates with people a little bit easier. But I love that you have that background in being a business coach as well, because it's so nice to have that ability to spot any gaps or weak spots that are occurring and being able to point that out to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can get all that assistance, or at least knowledge, to help fix that too. So that's huge. And then of course, generally us women who work for ourselves, we're at home because we have a family. So tell us, like, what's your like work-life balance, and what all are you managing too?
So I like being able to work contract to contract now, and creating my own schedule and everything, because right now I'm on maternity leave. I have they're almost 9 months, so I have 9-month-old twins,
Yay.
which is great, and I love them, and I love the ability to be able to still like work and everything while I'm on maternity leave. But also I get the opportunity because like I technically still have a 9 to 5 that I will go back to when I'm off of maternity leave, but it allows me to still balance like my side, like my business and everything, which I don't view as a side business. It's very much like a full-time thing for me. But I get to create my own look for it. So instead of working 9 to 5, like Monday through Friday, I get to work in pockets and be able to take on as many or as little clients as I want, and work in the pockets of time that I have, and in like the seasons of life that allow me to work more or less. And this is why I find that it's really important. So like like come January, I plan out my entire year. I
Awesome.
write it out. And just like it's nothing that's set in stone or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I like pencil in birthdays, anniversaries, and everything, like I was saying before. And then I figure out kind of like what my workload is, or where appointments will probably fall, or anything like that. And then I plan all of my personal launches out, and then I fit my clients in to where I see fit.
Mhm.
And that's why I run launches quite frequently, because then I have like a wealth of clients' interest, because I want to be able to fit their launches in where it's best suited for them and not necessarily best suited for myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that you plan it all out. I'm the same way. I'm Capricorn. I can't help
Yeah,
myself.
me too.
I figured, I was like, I bet she's a Capricorn. And that is too, like hiring people that are just of different mindsets. We're all going to work different ways, and we need people to help balance us out. That's why, we're all of us are so different. Like we need each other to help balance each other out. We're humans. We need other humans.
Yeah.
Um, and that's beautiful. And congratulations on your babies. And
Oh,
I've got
thank
a
you.
1 month old.
Oh wow.
She's
I
1 month today.
I
Um,
remember that.
yeah, and it's gonna keep changing, right? Like as we have these little ones, their needs and everything is gonna keep changing. And it allows us as moms to pivot and have that flexibility. So yes, it's extremely important. And I love to talk about these things too, because we're all business owners, we're all helping each other. And to let each other know this normalcy of we all have lives going on, we're all human, we all have families, like we're making things work, and we're going to be agile with each other. So knowing that it's nothing unique or odd for people to have problems and have things come up, and we're all going to be working with each other and supporting each other. That I think we all try to really form this tribe of women and mothers who are encouraging, and we're going to support each other, and we all want each other's success, because some of us might have come from backgrounds where we're not used to that. Maybe, I've come from backgrounds, and I've talked to a lot of people who are just used to this very competitive nature, and it is not like that in these tribes. We've got a couple pockets of us around town, so to speak, on the virtual world, and we are here to encourage each other's success. We can have 50 different launch coaches. We can have 200 different business coaches. it is okay. We are all going to specialize and do things in a slightly different way. And not all of us are made for each other.
Well, and that's why I feel like what I do as like a launch VA is a little bit different than why like the average VA would do and everything. And there's like some people that like to do the general like VA work and everything. Whereas like I love working with people like during their launches and everything, because I feel like helping those people like actually like succeed in their business and everything, and get their clients in and everything, it gives me the opportunity to succeed with them. But
Yeah.
also it like makes me stand out a little bit in a different aspect than like the average like VA. I'm not one that like, I don't really like to just be there to schedule your emails or do that kind of stuff. Whereas like I am very much like, I love planning. I love like creating like an actual like schedule for you and like keeping you accountable and all that kind of stuff. And like I take pride in my clients' successes and everything.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's great because it too, yes, it provides a little bit of your unique, your blue ocean strategy. Um, but it also allows you to just work within your passion, which is what I try to encourage everyone to do. I'm like, finding your niche is not about just like going and choosing something. Like it's about falling into it. It's about being in a passion with what you're doing. And our passion can change, and that's okay. Like whatever your niche is doesn't have to stay your niche permanently. It might, but it doesn't have to. And I'm the same way. Like I love helping people solve problems, whether it be figuring out your target market. I love teaching. And my uniqueness is that I also work in the corporate world. So like I have this corporate consultant background and experience. So I've done this on very larger scales, working with like CEOs. And then I also do it on smaller scales with, newer business owners or small business owners. And I find it's all really, really similar. It's just a lot of how we think and how much we're committing to things. And so that mindset's a huge portion. And not only am I like MBA level business coach and consultant, but I also have a therapy background too. So that mindset, I can address it with hypnotherapy or just with habits or lifestyle change. Because no matter what we do, right, burnout and making sure that we have the energy. So if you're not taking care of yourself as a business owner, like you are severely limiting yourself. Like eating healthy, trying to get movement in. I try to refrain from using the exercise word. Getting movement in, making sure that you're getting the rest and you're having, that schedule that promotes productivity, so that you're not just like laissez-faire all over the place. Because if you are, you're not going to have that focus that you need.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree with that. It just when when you don't have a, I don't like to use like necessarily the word of like structure, because like I work with a lot of um mystical, magical, woo-wee business kind of like people, and like I absolutely love what they do, and it's such an inspiration for me because I am not like them. But it allows like me to like see that side of them, and like it also allowed me to like start implementing a lot of the stuff that they offer, just because like I get to now like implement like more self-care and everything, because I am a recovering like workaholic, and I like
Capricorn thing.
exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like I like to work, and then I like to move on to the next thing and then the next thing. Whereas like it just again promotes burnout and everything, and it doesn't allow you to like do the things that you actually enjoy doing. Whereas like the things that they struggle with is like, what should I do today? And I'm like, no, I will give you a list of things to do. Here's your list of things to do. I will keep you accountable and you tell me to take breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's different energy, and we all have these strengths, and especially for the creative lot, like for me to get into creative mode takes a lot of effort. Like I have to do some reading and some journaling, and then I can get myself into the creative space to start creating my content. um Otherwise I'll approach it from very what's the outline, what are the key objectives, and I'll come from that point of view. So yeah, to keep trying to shift over, or to try to get yourself to do things that aren't natural, like play to your strengths, and then slowly adapt and work on your weaknesses, which our society typically tells us to, like, you know, your strengths are your strengths. You need to strengthen up your weaknesses and put all your effort in that basket. And that's not very practical. So it's better to get someone who's already strong in that to help you and guide you, and start spending more time living life in less judgment and guilt and burnout and shame and feeling inadequate and all of these things. Like, play to your strengths, honor your strengths, and then go help someone else who has the strengths that you need, and become a team. Because we are very fortunate to live in an age where we can have our businesses online, and we do not have to go to the bank and get a loan for 20 to 50,000 to start up our business. Like, we can literally just start it up. And so to invest a couple hundred here or even 1,000 there, that is such a small scale for investing in our business. And honestly, by investing in your business, you are committing. And when we commit, we are more likely to have success. So often we think, oh, well, I don't have anything to lose if I fail. And so we don't commit, and we allow ourselves to be halfway in, or, dipping your toes in the cold water rather than cannonballing into the pool. So really investing small amount really is a small amount. And to successfully run a business, I think everyone can agree that you are going to have some small investments in the beginning. Yes, you can get up and started and get some things lined out without having to invest at first. But really, when you're ready to go all in, investment needs to happen.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree. It's one of those things where sometimes you have to invest before the outcome.
Yeah.
So you have to invest in the coach or invest in the little bit of help or anything like that. And it's one of the things where it's like, I was there, I knew what it was like to start a business before, and invest in before I was really ready, or before I had the money coming in and everything. And it's a scary feeling. And that's why I try to tier my offers for people that are at each stage of their business journey and everything. And if you're not quite ready for a VA, then I have a course that will help you get your business started and everything, and line everything up. But it's sometimes just nice to have a person there that you can talk with and bounce ideas off of and everything.
Huge.
Because sometimes you just don't know. And I found that the journey that I went through to find out that I was supposed to be a launch VA, because I went from the fitness world of network marketing and everything, and I'm here, but it wasn't from a lack of I needed to do those things to become who I am now, but I also needed to work with the coaches that I worked with to help me find what I was meant to do.
Yeah, because we're human.
Exactly.
And we need other humans. This is my main quote. I say this all the time. I'm like, we need people. Stop trying to do everything yourself. It's not healthy.
Nope.
And that being said, like we're getting close to our hour, and I always want to make sure that everyone has time to get back to work or time to do whatever they're doing. So if you are a business owner and you have a course or product and you are ready to launch and get help with launching, or you're just curious about working with Amber, by all means, drop a comment down below. We'll make sure that that message gets to her. And then if you are still unclear about your product or creating your product, I do have a new program where it's create a product by next month. So it's a very quick way to get a quick product made. That will also teach you how to make your larger scale product too, because I find a lot of people delay on creating their product that they really want to create. I will help you create it, and then I will put you in touch with Amber right afterwards, and you can get your launch going. In fact, Amber, I'm like, I might just need to get you to help me with my next launch too. I'm like, I know how to do
more
it.
than happy to help
Exhausting.
out in any way that I can.
It's exhausting even when you know how to do it and you've done it several times.
Well, and then you
Having
got
help.
babies in the mix.
Now I have a baby, and that's my mindset. I'm like, I have a baby now. I'm like, oh, I gotta get more help. So thank you everyone who's joining us or catching the replay. We are here to help you and support you. You can set up a consultation with either one of us. Just drop a comment that you want a launch consultation, that you want a product creation consultation, and we will get you all hooked up. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for joining me as well, Amber.
No, thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed our conversation today. And we'll check you next time. So you can catch webinars with me, Izzy Nally, at Izzy Nally Consulting every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Please join the group, and we will be posting links for Amber's group and my group and everything underneath of this post, so that you can make sure that you get put in all the right places and get all the information, and you have our information, so that if right now is not the right time, maybe in a month or two, it might be right. You can still reach out to us then as well. All right. Thanks for joining. Bye.